Nano Banana has been out, which is officially Google's Gemini 2.5 Flash. It was codenamed Nano Banana. You can actually directly use it in the Gemini app. If you go to gemini.google.com, directly on the top, you should be seeing the option for try image editing with our best model, Nano Banana. If you don't have that option, what you could do is you could go on the tools and then you click on create images. You're going to see there's a banana image on there. Now, the first thing we're going to do is that you replace the white background of this sneaker with a high-end lifestyle setup. As you can see right over here, if you're not a designer and if you want something really quick, this could be an option for you to look at. So you can already see right over here, the sneaker with the high-end luxury background. So I'm just building on more context. But if you notice something, the exact image that we have of the sneakers is exactly the sneakers over here, and it has actually balanced the lighting, and it has also added the shadow. The shadow is there, but this has made it more pronounced. So that is something which is why people are going really crazy about Nano Banana. And you can already see that they're actually showing us from the side angle. Now, we don't know whether or not this is the actual thing or not, but you can see it's already, okay, give us a side view. I'm going to say, give us a side view. I want to just make sure that it's actually able to stay with what we have. And in case it forgets its context, I'm going to still add the image of our said shoe. And just like that, you can see you have a regular image that is on a white background. You have it now on what looks like a beautiful backdrop with a planter. And then you have it placed with a person. You can already see here. If we zoom in a little bit, you can see that the shoe is exactly the same shoe that I have over there. It has tilted it. However, one thing is for sure, it's trying to go outside the race course. That's another thing that we need to keep in mind, that the AI slop still does happen, but when it comes to consistency, I feel like this is top notch, because everything that was there in the shoe, everything in the shoe is actually beautifully covered, every single show you. And another one which I'm going to show is to blend a coffee cup, and I have a logo. I want to see how that works. So this is my logo, and then I also have the background. So the background of the cup. Nano Banana also does that really well, not just removing context and adding a different context, but also doing things like blending two images together and then creating something completely new while keeping context of both of them, as we will see right over here. And that'll be really worth it if we can see that. If you see right over here, authentic spiced tea, and you can see it's in the sunset and it's kind of like a billboard. Now, if I want to do another one where I'm going to actually take the chai, and I'm also going to take the chai logo, this would usually have taken some time. Like even this mock-up would have usually taken some time, but now you're able to immediately generate one. Again, while many people do claim that this is gonna kill Photoshop, again, I would have to preface, this you cannot customize as of yet. You can again take this as a base image, and then you can again ask for other iterative things, but it's not as easy as how you would have it in Photoshop. It's definitely a leg up for sure. Now, again, we're going to see the image of chai, and now you can see how beautifully it has taken the logo that we've had and it has put it on the cup without changing anything else. And again, every time I feel like this has been the best practice, rather than adding on the same existing chat, is to open different chats. So again, I'm going to go to the same thing. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take an interior image. So we can see I have the room, and now I'm going to add the two furnitures. Again, this is not just blending, but this is now blending to add in the environment. And let me just get those two. So I have this one, and I'm going to add this one right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to build on top of that. Next to that, I'm going to add the lamp. Not only does it do well with blending images, it also does well in adding things to scene. That specific table, if I zoom in right over here, that specific table is now inside this image. There has been no changes that has been made, which is just brilliant. So what's going to happen, think about it almost like you're designing in an interior designing kind of way. This lamp is now in the frame, but not only is it in the frame, it was automatically attached, and you can see the shadows and everything is meticulous. Also, you do not just need to add images to be able to use Nano Banana. You can also generate things because it is also using the Imagen by Google. So now, without adding anything from an image, I'm actually gonna generate something in the image. And then we generate the sofa. Now, obviously, you see there was one change here. They replaced the table. However, again, they kept the background exactly the same. If we see the background through and through, it looks exactly the same. I think that is where Nano Banana really shines. Now, this is the first time we're introducing a face. So we're going to see if they can actually do this. Again, I want to give a preface. This is obviously generated, but this image is looking to the side. Now, I want them to look straight to the camera. You can see the face is still to the side, but it's looking towards us. Exactly. That's how it is. We have our image, and now we have her in a beach. She is now wearing a linen outfit. This would have taken us so much time in the past. You would have to have trained LoRa's, and even with ideogram, it's pretty nice. But I feel like this one, you can do a little bit more controlling. But the face is pretty much the same. Now, what did I mean by the different consistencies of the face? Again, if I bring her face back, right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same exact image of our influencer, and I'm actually going to be taking the style sheet or character sheet of what usually would be for an animated. So I would want her to get all these different expressions. And lo and behold, we have the character, one image. Now I have in all the different kinds of expression. So if you think of different ways of doing something, we literally reproduced from one specific image multiple different character images. You can also do it for poses, for camera angles. You get the point. So AI influencers could be a big thing that you could start if you haven't already using Nano Banana. We're going to be doing is applying pattern to a white shirt. So apply this floral butterfly wing pattern onto the plain white dress. So then you should see essentially again a blend, but now we are doing a textural blend. We see already here that the shirt has taken up exactly what we had in the butterfly. This image was not there. This person has not been there, but it was created based on two concepts that I merged, which I think is really powerful if you think about it. I have another one where I have a warehouse. So I have a warehouse, add a spotlight rig overhead and two actors standing in the frame left, right, and one wooden crate. Now for this, I'm going to obviously provide the background of the warehouse. So I'm going to add that background. I'm not just going to be asking it to generate the whole thing, even though it can generate it, but I want to, again, add context to it. So you can see you have a lot of use case scenarios as well on this. Two actors on two sides and the spotlight is coming in and we have a box. And then soon after, there is another one where it has changed. So it created two subsequent ones almost as if it's in a scene, still keeping our image here. And it added the lighting rig in the background. Again, brilliant stuff. We probably all have family photos from the past which are black and white, and we always wanted to think, what if those could be in color? But I think now that opportunity has gotten even faster. We don't need to go into Photoshop. I feel this is where really Photoshop, it can shine over Photoshop for sure. A little bit description goes a long way. Again, another thing, if you ever want to do a black and white and if you're restoring it, the best thing is if you also remember the color in the image, or if you know the color of that image, what it may have been with the green, and it has these kind of coloring on the sides. And then you can see this was the original image. But I'm actually going to do another colorize and restoring, and just to see how this would look like. Now, this is the gateway of India. If you see right over here, this is the original image, and this right here is the colorized image. I have an image from a top of a tower, and now this is in a daytime. So changing the light, that's also another logic, which I feel like Nano Banana is really able to push. This would have taken a lot of time in the past. Not only has it changed the blue tone, it has also made sure that the warm tone is inside the tower where I had taken the photo from. Now I'm also going to change the weather, and now it is summer. Every single detail is absolute. For example, this image right over here that I'm adding, Again, we're doing still in painting. There's a lot that can be done with in painting and re-editing, because this is, I feel like, where Photoshop, you would have taken a little more time. And you can see right over here, this would have taken us hours of work, which just took us now around about 10 seconds, and it cleaned up everything. Like this to this is a huge deal. Now, this is one kind of a method which I have seen that to work, is that if you take a flat lay image of multiple products, and if you ask, you could see exactly what I meant. So everything that we had in this image is now brought to life in a campaign. That is really the power of not just using in a collage, but if you also do a drop down flat lay image and just show, you can actually contextualize and see how that campaign could look like. Life's little explorer's brick dream. Where will your imagination take you today? The type is also obviously perfect, and everything here is exactly how we had it in the flat lay. Exactly what I just now said. Everything that we had in this image right over here, the lamp, the shoes, the outfit, if you look over here, every single detail is on this person. As you can see right over here, the only thing that they do not do, Nano Banana, is that they do not generate transparent. But if you do like this video, do feel free to like and subscribe. Also, another thing, if you notice, is you can not only tell it to alter the text, it also makes sure that the type is also similar. With that said, you can check out this video right over here.